Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. It's amazing how color women are always very quick to talk about female solidarity. That is, black women and white women and black women solidarity. And then the fact that they always want to be victims so bad is something I really do not understand. I mean, they were talking about slavery and they decided to talk about how them also have been slaves to their husband. And I am asking, what is the color of you people's problem? Because you people are always looking for a way to insert yourself into something that got nothing to do with you. And you all still want solidarity. Now let's talk about it. White women most times are usually the problems because they actually see themselves as the top priority. When they are speaking, you don't talk, right? Because somebody is talking about what she experienced with her fellow women or something in church, and they like, all black women's experience with them is usually very horrifying, right? That is one of the reasons why black women choose white men over them, and they went all crying. Now, you are not supposed to express how you feel because when you are working with a pop colored woman, you are not supposed to speak up. You are not supposed to express yourself because when you do, you are overreacting. And when you are with them, you are not supposed to overreact. Let's get
Hey y'all, so listen, a lot of black people might not know what I'm talking about when I'm about to say. Some of y'all might. You might be cute in what's going on in the app right now, um, in our little niche area. But I just gotta say this. People really gotta be aware of a white woman that just can't be a white woman. You really gotta be cautious, and like that should like put your like spotty senses up when you see a white woman that just cannot just be a white woman. You see a white woman collecting all different types of marginalization, collecting like Pokemon, gotta choose them all, gotta pick them all. That should let you know right there. She looking to cause some harm. She is looking to cause some harm to the black and brown community. She's looking to fool y'all white people and confuse the fuck out of y'all in anti-racist spaces. That's what she's looking to do. And she's looking to collect as many fucking marginalization shields she could probably use, right, when she do all the striking and shit so she can hide behind. And then, yeah, that's the problem right there. I just got to say this. Principles is a thing. If people adopt principles and get real secure in your principles, you'll start seeing, like, pay attention. You'll start seeing people that just don't stick to principles. And you could also pick up, like, patterns. Pay attention to people's patterns of behavior, right? And pattern behavior specifically in this instance of going around and, who's that Pokemon? Pikachu. Who's that Pokemon? What's the other ones? Squirtle, okay? just picking all the fucking marginalization you can. And some of them, I think they actually work in a whole ass mission. I really do. I think like they be getting costumes sent out to them, everything. That's their assignment, is to come into the room and just cause a fucking wreck. Just going around harassing black people at the end of the day. That is their fucking goal. That is their black ops mission. Okay? I see people right now like, oh, I'm so shocked. I don't understand. I had to unmute her. That was my friend. I couldn't even see this coming. You could see it coming anytime you see a white woman that just refuses to just be white. She just can't be a white woman. She got to be every fucking thing else. She got to pick up this marginalization, that marginalization, this oppression, that oppression, everything. And when one don't work, she got to pick up another one. One don't work, she got to pick up another one. But you see a white woman that just, listen, two marginalizations. Two. You get two as a white woman. Any more than that, you're a nuke. You're a nuke. And I promise you, to my knowledge and how I see things, okay, a white woman that operates like that is more dangerous than a loud white woman yelling the N-word. Right? Because to me, you have all them shits, right? You collecting every marginalization you can. You are a fucking nuke. And a nuke that I know say the N-word, I'm not gonna let them in my house. They're gonna be way the fuck away from me. All the way over there. Right? Can you imagine a nuke? Right? You don't know it's a nuke coming inside your house. See how close they get. That explosion gonna hit. Okay? An explosion of a nuke that's all the way outside yelling the N-word, wearing the fucking holes in the cape and stuff like that with the hat and pointy hat and shit. You're not gonna let them close. Okay? But the ones that enter in this anti-racist space, they be getting all close and stuff to black and brown people and be talking and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden they got this marginalization. Now they talking loudly for this marginalization. They just, and then soon, before you know it, all of a sudden they not even white no more. One day, a day comes where they like, I'm not white. I'm actually every fucking thing else you could think of at the end of the day. And some of them will go all the way to be like, I'm one of the things that you can never even say anything about. You better not, because that's it. It's a clutch. They always got a clutch marginalization. They really do. For those of you that are aware of what I'm talking about, you listen. If you want to know, if you want to get a clue before you even go and be like, I'm following this person, I'm going this person, they seem like this. If it is a white woman that I promise you got more than 2 marginalizations, and actually, I'd be looking at them sometimes too, like sideways too. A white woman that just can't be a white woman in anti-racist space, that's a fucking problem. That's a fucking problem for everybody, actually. She is a fucking nuke.
When in history have white women not been seen as human beings? For black women in America, you see, we were not considered human beings until after the abolition, or should I say the transformation of slavery, and even well into the Jim Crow days. Now, have white women been negatively impacted by the patriarchy throughout American history? Of course. But that seems to also be the same patriarchy that they sleep with, give birth to, raise, and sit in the laps of. But I digress. Does white women not being able to own property or vote the same thing as black women not only not being able to own property or vote, but also being barred from public facilities, being subjected to violence, including lynchings, not being able to testify against white people, and not being able to expect any justice from the courts? And then on top of all that, facing racial discrimination in housing, education, employment, in the healthcare system, as well as in many other areas. Is that the same thing? And how quickly white women forget that black women were excluded from the women's suffrage movement. You see, white women have always acted in their own best interests, the interests of themselves, never our interests or any other women of color's interests. And they wonder why black women and women of color do not stand in solidarity with white women. It might be because white women have never stood in solidarity with us. What men are to women, white women are to black women and women of color. Let that marinate for a moment. And yes, I know you say all white men have done this. Well, honey, who was raising these white men? Who was giving birth to these little white boys that grew up to be white men, that grew up to enforce the patriarchy? Oh, okay. The day that white women can stop centering themselves in any discussion and every discussion about oppression or marginalization, including the feminist rights movement, that will be the day when we can take steps, have a discussion, move towards female solidarity, and not a day sooner.
White supremacy is a white woman in church saying that she wants judgment on African leaders because they do such a terrible job. And when I, the only person of color, says to her, it's all leaders in the world that literally the world has gone to shit because of all leaders, and especially the Western colonialist leaders. She doubles down and she was like, well, just look at African women. If hard work was the only thing you needed for success, African women would be successful. And a part of me gets where she's coming from, but to say that African leaders are the only problem, and to bring up the issue, the protests that are happening in Kenya this week, that happened in Kenya last week and this week, and the unaliving of young people, she brought that up. And then the icing on the cake was, well, at least here children don't die from starvation. And guess what? All the white people that were listening said nothing, and then the ones that did were in support of her. And actually a person that I would consider to be a good friend of mine at the end there kind of said to me, well, she was only talking about one thing, as if to say you overreacted. And this is, I'm coming to realize just how unsafe literally it is, even in church settings, especially in church settings, to have these kind of conversations. The conversation was about, good and evil, is there hell, is there judgment, and blah, 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 blah. And even in all of that, white supremacy still shows up. And that she could have even given an example of what's happening in watermelon land right now and said that she wanted justice for that leader over there that keeps unaliving children and innocent people and displacing people, but for her, African leaders were the problem. That is white supremacy at its finest, and doubling down, and the surrounding white people not seeing how that's a problem is white supremacy. It comes from a place of privilege. It comes from a place of not wanting to know, of a place of thinking you're better than, even though your ancestry and your current leaders are to blame for a lot of what goes on in Africa and continues to go on in Africa. Disgusting.
So this is all I got from this video, and it's really amazing how some of them are natural manipulators. They know what they are doing, and this is what they have been doing. You all still remember that Black women decided that they were not going to work with them. For a Black woman to say that I don't want to be with this person in a workspace, I would rather work with this person. That tells you a lot. I mean, I don't think this is new. This is something they've been doing to Black people. A Black woman or a Black person is not supposed to express how he feels or I mean, like, you don't have opinion, and you are not supposed to uh, voice out your opinion because your opinion is not important, right? What have they experienced? What have they really gone through? Absolutely nothing. But they are actually going to sit in there, like, sit comfortably wherever they are, and tell you what you are doing right and what you are not doing right. That is gaslighting, right? Most of them never experienced what it means or what Black people went through, especially not having any rights. You all knew, like, back then Black women did not have rights, or Black women could not speak, or not really speaking, like, like they are not supposed to stand and speak because, I mean, like, everything were taken away from them. So they actually think that, like, all of these things are still supposed to be happening today. Like, whenever we speak, you are not supposed to speak. You are supposed to listen. Now, this is, like you said, is white supremacy at its finest. With everything going down where it is happening, like what that is happening between watermelon and Israel and all that. They will never wake up to tell you that what they are doing is not good. But they have something to say about African leaders because they are the problems. I am not saying African leaders are perfect. You all already know that I bash them here whenever I want to bash them because they really do need to wake up, right? But then let's concentrate on how they have influenced so many things going on in Africa. Then we talk about what is going on in Congo. They are not talking about how they have taken over so many places that have some mineral resources or that have something. Check out most of the countries that got something to give out. We start by coal. We start by coal. We start about cobalt, cotton, what is going on. You talk about Sudan. You talk about Yemen and all that, right? Look at the people occupying there. So they know their target, they know where they are supposed to be, and they go to where they are supposed to be. They don't talk about how they invade some places. There was a video that I saw, I think yesterday, about a palm-colored woman who actually came to Africa. I don't know where, I think she was in Kenya or something like that. And she was handing kids. I mean, giving them one after the other chocolate, right? And I saw some of them in the comments, some in the comment section saying that I am sure some of them have never had chocolate in their lives. And thank God that Africans already knew. I am really happy that everybody is waking up. And a very huge thanks to African Americans, because you all have been the ones screaming some certain things. So majority of the people are now beginning to listen and understand what is going on. So immediately I saw that comment, I scrolled down, and guess what I saw? I saw all through. They were like African people were like, Africans in the comment section were like, so they did not tell you that they took the cocoa from her. I've never been proud. I was very proud, really, because they have the guts to say that they have never had chocolate in their lives, forgetting that all the cocoa that they use in manufacturing those chocolate were taken from here. And mostly white women. Just to tell you how they think they are the superior. I mean, like, it's all about us and nothing. When we speak, you keep quiet. And her own friend was now looking at her like, you overreacted. You were not supposed to overreact because you were a black woman. A black woman is not supposed to express how she feels because it's illegal for you to speak up on how you feel. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.